Tonight's episode of Horrified is brought to you by Fright Rags, the greatest and most original officially licensed horror apparel and accessories in the world. Go to frightrags.com and use promo code ArieScope10 at checkout and save 10% off your entire order. And now, ArieScope Pictures presents the original series, Horrified.
Everyone loves a carnival. The games, the rides, the cotton candy, the scary clowns. Well, maybe not the scary clowns, but everyone loves the Ferris wheel, right? Wrong. Damn it.
Oh, Corey.
Wrong. For director Sean Becker, what started out as a ride on the Ferris wheel of fun turned into a terrifying spin on the Ferris wheel of horror. Fide.
This story took place, I was just become a teenager, so maybe like 12, 13, I think I was in junior high. So I'm from a very small town here in California. The town's called Hollister, California, and that's Hollister, California, the town, not Hollister, California, the clothing line. I don't know what that is, and I'm not gonna wear my town. I don't have that much pride. The one thing that we did have was the county fair. I don't really like fairs. I don't find them all that fun, yet I would still go. I went with my neighbor, and his mom had gone and dropped us off over at the fair, and she dropped us off and said, I'll be back in 3 hours. You guys go have fun, go on the rides, eat food, go see the stuff. I'll be back in 3 hours. And so we say, okay, that's cool. Now, I am not a fan of carnival rides, and it's not that I'm scared of roller coasters, I'm just concerned for my safety. And so the thing about these carnival rides and fair rides, if you ever see them, is they all look like they're on the verge of falling apart. And I'm okay taking the risk. Like, I've been skydiving, like I know the risk, but what is the risk worth with a carnival ride or a fair ride? If it were to break, it was like, well, at least I got to spin around in a circle, you know? Like, there's no thrill to it, and they're uncomfortable, and it feels like work to me. You're waiting in line, and then you get on this suffering machine for a little while, and if something's got motion in it, I think I'm just gonna get sick. I also had a very weak stomach. Like, the only ride I would even dare to go on would be the Ferris wheel, because like, how dangerous could a Ferris wheel be? So say this right here, this is actually very convenient representation. So say this is the Ferris wheel. I'm, gonna get on the bottom, and then we're gonna go, someone else is gonna get on, 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 and then once it gets filled, then it goes around a couple times. And I was like, okay, cool, we have cool vantage points. Once again, this is a Ferris wheel. This isn't like something at Disneyland. It's kind of a at your own risk thing. So that being said, we get in, and immediately, you're in the seat, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know about this ride. Like, this doesn't feel safe at all. And we're just swaying back and forth. And so as we're swaying back and forth, the next person gets on, swaying back and forth. The next person gets on, swaying back and forth. The next person gets on. And as we get higher and higher, it's harder to keep the car steady. And we're at the very top, and we're swaying, and I'm just like, oh my God, I think I'm going to throw up. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna stay calm. I'm not gonna do anything, I'm not gonna say anything. I am going to stay calm, stay still, and then before the Ferris wheel starts up again, I am going to say, hey, can we stop? And I'm gonna get off, because I can get off, so I can last the rest of this. So I'm like, okay, here's the plan. And then immediately, nope, and then I start to throw up. Mind you, people are still getting on this thing. So I am at the top here. I really have no plan. I've never been through this before, so mind you, I'm 13. Like, this is a big deal, and we're in a small town where you know everybody, and we're at the Ferris wheel, which is at the pinnacle high point of the entire fair. Everyone can see the Ferris wheel. It's the thing that goes, where is the fair? Oh, Ferris wheel. Fair. That's probably why they called it that. I don't fucking know. Anyways, I'm throwing up, and I'm trying to catch it in my mouth and stuff it back in my mouth. And has that ever worked for anyone? No, it hasn't. So instead of like me trying to pick up my shirt or like throw up on the ground, I instead like keep throwing up into my hands, and vomit is now spreading all over this Ferris wheel. I start to hear, what the hell? What the fuck? And I start to hear other people throwing up. Mind you, now everyone has to get off the Ferris wheel, so I'm still up here. I've thrown up on everybody on the Ferris wheel, and then I still had to wait for that person to get off, and 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 then I would finally get off. So I am traumatized, and I am covered in vomit, and everyone is covered in my vomit. So I sit there for probably another 10 minutes while everyone's getting off and freaking out, and people are down at the bottom trying to cover everyone up, and I'm like, I'm a dumb kid. I'm like, I'm gonna get arrested for this, or kicked out of town. Once again, I'm an idiot. So I come back down and I'm like, okay, what do I do when I get off of this? So I get down to the bottom. I don't talk to anyone. I don't say a word. I'm just silent, thinking if I just stand still, I'm quiet, maybe they won't know it was even me, covered in vomit. Get to the bottom, and I get out of the car, and I look past the crowd of people that are there, like I recognize someone in the back of the crowd, and just jogged and went like this, and that was how I got out of the situation. So I went back to that spot that we're supposed to wait for. I'm 2 hours early, by the way, and I just waited for my friend's mom to come pick us up. I was horrified, but probably not as horrified as the rest of the people on that Ferris wheel. I probably should have apologized or like addressed it or like made a joke, but I ran. So, there's your lesson, kids.